one of those bands where it's like you really got to soak in a whole album maybe, or maybe multiple albums to really understand the band. Those are bands I really gravitate towards. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. It's time for another bonus episode here on a Sunday. This is where I do a random drawing from all the song requests I received over on Patreon last month. I want to thank our Patreon community for always sending so many requests in. Last month, let's see, we got 170. So over to the random number generator, 1 through 170. Whatever's on line 28 is what I'm hearing today, and that is the FLATLINERS. He Was a Jazzman with 30 votes, quite a bit. This was requested by Michael Billingsley. Michael, thanks for sending this in. Let's jump right into it. Let's see, FLATLINERS, He Was a Jazzman. FLATLINERS, He Was a Jazzman. Off we go. This was a really interesting band to review last time. Wow. That bass line, though. Okay, first observation is this sounds nothing like I remember the FLATLINERS sounding. I think I've only done one song by them not too long ago. It was an acronym like KHTRD, KHTDR something. And if I think back to that video, I remember my takeaway was, I have no idea what these guys sound like. I have to hear another song. Random number generator gods knew I needed to hear another one today, and I'm hearing this, and it doesn't sound like the last one at all. The last one seems sort of outside of the box of genre. There was so many different sections and songwriting styles. I remember the bass being really up front, as it is here, but I remember that tone being a bit more snarly, kind of thin. This is kind of a beefier, funky thing. Almost has a bit of a Coheed sound here, just in some of the guitar and bass interplay. Okay, let's start that one over. Almost had a bit of a reggae feel as well. Very, very interesting. Here in D minor. Those vocals are fantastic. Wow. It's like, I'm going to go back to the Coheed thing. I think just some of those palm muted single note, lyrical kind of riffs with the moving bass. Coheed's fresh on my mind because in 4 days, by the time you see this, this gig will already have happened, but I'm playing a Coheed and Cambria tribute set here in town. I'm really familiar with those bass lines right now. This kind of reminds me of that. And I think the bass line is outlining D minor, but changing the root notes and keeping some of the top notes the same, because I hear this kind of fat D minor groove. Then it goes to the B flat, but kind of stays with the same groove on the top parts. You kind of have this down to the A minor, same thing. Down to the G minor, back to the D minor. So kind of dark progression too. G minor. Those vocals are soaring. The more I hear the vocals, the delivery is a bit like Chuck, Hot Water Music, just that raspy, you really believe it. There's a lot of conviction behind it. And I don't remember the vocals sounding quite like that, so this might be from a different era of the band. I know the album I did last time was maybe earlier 2000s. If I'm remembering the date on that, probably not close, but this could be before or after. Sounds a bit more modern. Nonetheless, this is really some deep stuff. The bass is kind of hard to follow. It's meandering all around, never really sitting in one place too long. Sounds like the bass player is using a 5-string. I hear the low C, the low D. Could be in a different tuning on a 4-string. You never know. But man, I'm really digging this. Ooh, pop? That was cool. Kind of had like a trill. What was that? Like that. Kind of the chorus. F. There's that low C. I really, 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 really like this. Da-da, ba-da. Just that little reggae flavor over here. Kind of a good stopping point. Just want to say before we keep going, because this is really immersive. The sound's nothing like the last song. Like there's really nothing, there's no common thread I can really find between what I'm hearing now and what I remember from the last song by the Flatliners. So if it's one of those bands where it's like you really got to soak in a whole album maybe, or maybe multiple albums to really understand the band, those are bands I really gravitate towards. Some of my favorite bands, I really can't put them in a box, all for different reasons, but they have some deep complexity. Not just referring to the song, but just remembering, like the contrast between what I remember. That was a bit of a, it almost had an avant-garde sort of songwriting through compose. The bass just was kind of all over the place, but not like this. This is grabbing me even more. This is a really well-written song. Love the vocal performance. Okay. I'm going to stop at the superlatives. I really dig this. Pocket groove. It's the chords are changing a bit more here, or a bit differently as well. They're a little more predictable than what was going on earlier, so they've changed the chord progression slightly. Follows a bit more of a pattern. And it kind of almost sounds like the bass player's palm muting a bit. Could be palm muted with a pick. I'm kind of just placing my hand here on the bridge, way back, and just doing some thumb and finger. Kind of adds to that reggae feel and kind of vibe. That's a cool technique sometimes I use. If I'm trying to find that picking, palm muted sound, but not use a pick, it's really great. Whoa, tempo change. Wow. Holy moly. That was a very sneaky and unexpected tempo change, just slowly progressing again. Those are even harder to execute than just on the dime tempo changes, because when you're in the studio, you know, you can really dictate where that tempo change happens. Okay, we're at this tempo, now we're going to go to this tempo on a dime. It sounds like it would be harder, but it's really those gradual kind of accelerando things happening here that are actually more challenging. I would imagine there has to be some sort of a live element where they're together in the studio to where it feels natural. That would be really tough to multi-track, although it could be done, but you know, it's not something I've ever done. That gradual. It's like that whole reggae feel has just been slowly washed to the side. Now we're in gritty wall of sound punk here to close out the song. That's a really neat, unexpected transition. I would have been happy with the reggae thing all the way to the end because the bass line was juicy, but this is a really cool, emotive release of all the pent-up energy we've heard so far. Let me go back and hear that again. Cool accent. They're kind of leaving off. Ooh, that's a loud plane. Sorry, I live south of a runway, but sometimes the planes are right over and I can just like feel it rattling. So I had to make a cut there. But what I was going to say was the accenting on this riff, they're leaving a rest sort of on the end of 4 or the end of 1. Let me hear it again, but it's that da 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 ba da 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 da, and it's just those little breaks are a really cool addition because they could have just filled it in straight with 8th notes. What does the rest change? Just kind of get your attention rhythmically, but it's so subtle. Right here. Right there. That was another fantastic random pick. I feel like I've been on this lucky streak of the random drawings just being epic every time. This almost reminded me of another random pick from, I think 2 months ago, the Baroness song I did. Even though I feel like the Flatliners are more in the punk realm, Baroness is more in the prog stoner, there were some similarities between these two songs. It just reminded me of that. Okay, anyway, looking this up now, this is from the album Cavalcade. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's actually the album after The Great Awake, which had the previous track I did, KHTDR. So I guess this is right after, but kind of in the same era, and it looks like this band has several albums afterward, Dead Language, Inviting Light, New Ruin, the most recent being in 2022. Okay, I've got to say, Flatliners, no idea what to make of them yet. That's the second track, and sounded nothing like the first one. So this has been an intriguing band. I see these guys mentioned a lot in the comments, and I'm always kind of eager to get back to them. So this was a really cool treat. This had a lot of votes as well. If you want to participate in this and support the channel, come find us at patreon.com/LowenUniversity. We do full album breakdowns and reactions each month, just like this video, but they're long and it's a whole album, and the Patreon community votes on them. It's such a blast. I also have bass lessons there, music theory lessons if you want to learn from me in that way. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do that now. It really helps the channel out. I love you all. We'll see you in the next one.